The original Penn Station, when it opened in 1910, the original Pennsylvania station was nothing short of breathtaking. Designed by the legendary firm McKim, Mead and White, the structure stretched over 8 acres and featured soaring vaulted ceilings of steel and glass that rivaled the great train stations of Europe. It was a temple of transportation, built not just for function, but as a monument to progress, symbolizing New York City's role as the gateway to America. Travelers entered through grand colonnades, bathed in natural light, and felt a sense of awe as they boarded their trains. But despite its beauty, the station's fate was sealed by the rise of the automobile and air travel. In 1963, it was demolished, sparking outrage and giving birth to New York's modern preservation movement. Its loss remains one of the city's greatest architectural tragedies. The Electric Circus. In the late 1960s, New York nightlife entered a new dimension with the arrival of the Electric Circus. Located on St. Mark's Place in the East Village, this wasn't just a club, it was a sensory explosion. Inside, swirling lights, liquid projections, and booming music created a psychedelic dreamscape. Guests lounged on beanbags or danced under strobe lights as acrobats and performers moved through the crowd. The Electric Circus became a gathering spot for artists, musicians, and free spirits, embodying the counterculture energy of the era. Bands like the Velvet Underground played here, and its atmosphere perfectly captured the experimental mood of late 60s New York. But by the early 1970s, changing tastes and financial troubles forced its closure. Still, its brief existence left a lasting mark on New York's reputation as a city of endless reinvention. Times Square's record stores. Before streaming and digital playlists, Times Square was once the beating heart of New York's music scene. From the 1940s through the 1970s, neon-lit record stores lined the streets, each blasting the latest hits from giant speakers that echoed across the square. Music lovers, tourists, and teenagers crowded into these shops, flipping through endless rows of vinyl. Stores like Colony Records became legendary, part shopping destination, part cultural landmark, where you could buy everything from Broadway cast albums to rare jazz imports. For many, visiting Times Square meant leaving with a bag of records, a piece of the city's rhythm. But as cassette tapes, CDs, and eventually digital music took over, these vibrant shops began to disappear. Today, the glowing billboards remain, but the soundtrack of Times Square's bustling record stores is only a memory. The newspaper strike of 1962–63. In December 1962, New York City fell silent in a way it hadn't in over a century. The bustling newsstands that usually sold millions of papers each morning stood empty. For 114 long days, the city's major newspapers were shut down by a strike, leaving New Yorkers without their daily source of headlines, sports scores, and gossip columns. Suddenly, people had to rely on radio, television, and word of mouth to keep up with world events. Small independent papers tried to fill the gap, but they couldn't match the influence of giants like the New York Times or the Daily News. The strike not only cost the city millions in lost revenue, but it also signaled the beginning of a decline in newspaper dominance. For many, it was the first glimpse of a future where print media would no longer reign supreme. The original SoHo. Before SoHo became the heart of art galleries, fashion boutiques, and high-end lofts, it was an entirely different world. In the mid-19th century, the neighborhood was filled with cast-iron warehouses and factories, buzzing with textile mills and sweatshops. By the 1960s, however, industry had abandoned the area, leaving behind huge empty buildings. Artists, looking for cheap and spacious studios, moved in illegally, turning the deserted factories into vibrant creative hubs. Soon, SoHo was transformed into an experimental art district, with loft parties, underground shows, and pop-up galleries that redefined New York's cultural scene. What was once a forgotten industrial zone became the epicenter of avant-garde art and counterculture, paving the way for the polished, upscale SoHo we know today. And there you have it, 12 incredible snapshots of a New York that no longer exists. From the grand Penn Station to the underground art of SoHo, these lost landmarks remind us just how quickly a city can change. If you enjoyed this journey into the past, don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more untold history, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a story. New York is full of hidden tales waiting to be rediscovered, and we'll be here to uncover them for you. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep exploring history one story at a time.